Welcome to Street Tracks, your new show on Godless, where members of the horror community talk about books, movies, films, music, etc. And it's from the street! On this premiere episode, we're going to talk about scenes from horror movies that make the hair on your fucking arms stand up. Whoa. There's a scene in 1990's Jacob's Ladder, where Jacob, played by Tim Robbins, goes to visit his friend who's in his unit in Vietnam, this guy Paul, right? And this guy's suffering from this like severe PTSD. And so Tim Robbins talks to him, they kind of wrap it up, and Tim Robbins walks him out to his car. Tim sees Jacob sees a quarter on the ground, and he goes, hey, my lucky day, and he reaches over to pick it up, right? And the fucking quarter is like pulled away as if it's like on a string, and he looks over at his buddy Paul, who's in his car, and he turns on the ignition, and he makes this fucking face, dude, that's just, it's like burned into me forever, and fucking his car just goes boom, and everything is just fucking nuts. It not only raises the hair on my arms, it fucking makes my dick fucking suck back into my body because it's just such an emotionally insane and crazy fucking scene.
Alright, let's talk about Sinister from 2012. That movie was aggressively creepy, which is my love language, so it's all good. But the part that just hackled on the back of my neck, like heart's beating, scared shitless, was the end. Because, it was a great build-up, but then you get to the end where Ethan Hawke is watching the final film, and it's all the murders, and the kids come into the scene. Man, that got me. I could see it coming, fucking scared the shit out of me. The voice in the back of my head is telling me, bitch, run, you're in danger. But it was just beautifully done, scared the shit out of me, and then the kid popping up with the video camera and the axe made it even worse. And then afterwards, where she's standing there and tilts her head and the dude's standing right there, nah, man, I was clutching my pillow, I ain't gonna lie. Grown-ass man. And my roommate was curled up in a fetal position next to me on the couch, so yeah.
Back in the early 2000s, I stumbled upon a film on a message board, and it was from the late 80s. It was an experimental horror film called The Begotten. And the first scene, it's black and white, very oversaturated, and then mostly silent, if I recall correctly. But the first scene feels very like you're a voyeur. And when you get to go inside, you see basically what is an embodiment of God, and he's disemboweling himself in a chair, and he's got like this gaping jaw, and he's like vomiting blood onto the ground, and it freaked me out. I lost sleep over it when I first watched it. And now every once in a while when somebody's like, oh, what's the most intense thing you've ever seen, I point them to that. I haven't watched it recently, so I don't know if it would still freak me out, but it was definitely one that has stuck with me.
Arm, hair-raising horror movie that I've seen was Insidious, one of my favorites. A particular scene that made every hair on my body stand up and my balls tingle was when the mom was taking trash out. In the background, the music was playing, and the camera kind of shows you what's going on, and that little creature changes the record and Tiptoe Through the Tulips, a creepy song as it stands by Tiny Tim, conveniently, started playing. Well, every hair on my body stood to attention. I kind of got freaked out because it was just a shock. The whole story concept was very well done, and in the end, you were pleasantly surprised by what was happening and what happened to continue the series afterward. That's my arm hair-raising movie choice.
Hi, I'm Dani Brown, or the Queen of Filth as you might know me, and standing behind me is what used to be a public toilet. And why am I standing behind a public toilet? Well, I saw a few bees on the way home, and I'm here to talk to you about Candyman, the most terrifying scene, mainly because I am terrified of bees and wasps and hornets and also hummingbirds. And the most terrifying scene in any film ever has got to be when Helen goes into the public toilets, which Clive Barker lived near here, so this could very well have been the inspiration. And she kicks up that last toilet lid, and there's fucking bees. Lots and lots of bees. So many honeybees, which are the scariest type of bee, by the way, because they sting. They will sting you. Yes, so there. Lovely public toilet, which might have been in a slightly better state when before Clive Barker saw sense and left the country. Right, bye now.
Okay, so this whole movie's pretty fucked. So this is kind of tough. Human Centipede 2. If I have to get it down to one scene, the very end when he gets all the centipedes together and the pregnant chick, who he thinks is dead, and she's underneath the tarp and she wakes up. She's running out. She started giving birth. Pre-birth is coming out, everything. She gets into the car. She locks it. He's coming up to get into the car. He can't. And then she fucking gives birth. Her eyes roll back in the back of her head. She gets the ignition to start and she fucking stomps on that baby's head. Because survival. And fuck her baby. She obviously did not care. She's going to survive.